Orally transmitted teachings, Ongikuden, in Japanese, on Buddhism Lesson 16. The 10 ways of expressing life and their mutual inclusion. The 10 states designate the 10 ways of life and form the basis of the Buddhist conception of the inner life. The first 6 of the 10 states are to be distinguished from the others. The 6 bad ways borrowed from the Brahmanical conception of the world. The 6 Buddhist paths were considered by tradition as realms into which all living beings transmigrated ad aeternam: hell, greed, animality, anger, humanity or tranquility, temporary happiness or heavenly happiness. The state of hell, naraka, in Sanskrit hell is a frightful dwelling in flames. This verse from the gosho refers to the idea of a paranoid self. The individual dominated by the state of hell lives with the idea that the whole world is angry with him, makes him suffer. This paranoid individual will, obviously according to his understanding, consequently he will hate the world which he will seek to destroy. The state of greed, preta, in Sanskrit greed is the translation of the Sanskrit word preta, which refers to corpse. In the Indian cosmogony, the dead are considered to be eternally hungry and in perpetual search for food. It follows from this that the state of greed is a state characterized by a perpetual suffering of dissatisfaction, a state in which the self is a slave to delusions. A verse from the gosho epistle to narakas, greed, a miserable state in which the hungry devour their own children. The daishonin, in the true object of veneration, continues, covetousness, the world of greed. The state of animality, taryagyani, in Sanskrit at the origins of the state of animality lies the lexicographical desire to designate the state of animal life. Did not the daishonin write, stupidity is a world of animality? The individual of the state of animality, as an emulator of the animal, is dominated by stupidity, absence of reason. The only thing that matters to him is the immediate, the short term. Blinded like an animal by instinct, the double distinction between truth and falsehood, good and evil become a chimera in his understanding. The state of anger and pride, the universe of wickedness, asura, in Sanskrit. In order to be regarded as person endowed with great moral qualities, the person plagued by the state of anger behaves like a virtuous person, full of benevolence against a background of modesty. This explains why his thoughts and feelings will not be in accordance with his true personality. In this respect, the state of anger appears as the universe of wickedness. The daishonin says it in the gosho, the object fundamental of veneration, wickedness, the world of anger. The state of humanity or tranquility. Manusia, in Sanskrit the state of humanity is one of the 2 good way states. It is a state dominated by calm and tranquility. Although it is difficult to maintain it, it remains the just receptacle of the 4 noble ways. The individual in the state of humanity possesses all of his rational faculties, which opens up for him the possibility of separating good from evil, of making value judgments. This explains why this person can keep his cool. The problem is the difficulty for this person to keep this state in the long term, to win against samsara. The state of temporary happiness or celestial happiness, deva. Sanskrit. The state of happiness entails a world of desires that satisfy, bring joy. This joy, unfortunately, shrinks and disappears over time. Like the other states mentioned above, the state of temporary happiness is conditioned by the external world. When our environment is calm, the enjoyment of the state of humanity becomes possible. However, the loss of these favorable conditions causes us to fall into the states of suffering of hell and animality. The 4 noble ways. These are the states of study, absorption or personal awakening, bodhisattva, Buddha. The states of study and absorption or personal awakening. On this subject, let us revisit this Masonic verse taken from the true object of veneration. The impermanence of everything in this world appears very clearly to us. Is it not because the states of the 2 vehicles are contained in the state of humanity? It follows from this that the state of study, shomen, in Japanese is the state of people who awaken to a part of the truth by hearing the Buddha's teaching, while the state of absorption, engaku, in Japanese, is a state in which one awakens to a part of the truth by oneself because of a combination of factors. These 2 states of study and absorption are the goals of Buddha's practice of Vijnana or little vehicle, Neo. This is because the people, especially the monks, who reached these states of life, Grasping only the gear of impermanence lubricated by our earthly desires, the cause of our human suffering, took it upon themselves to pour this oil into nature, in other words, to eliminate these said desires. The awakening of Neo is only a partial awakening, imperfect and like the awakening of the Buddha. The state of the Bodhisattva comes from the Sanskrit body which means wisdom, and sattva which refers to being. So, the Bodhisattva is a being ready for awakening. This closeness to enlightenment is the result of perseverance and also of a certain number of qualities developed by him. The Bodhisattva state of life is distinguished by the spirit of seeking, the permanent obsession with attaining Buddhahood. The essential characteristic of the Bodhisattva state of life is altruism coupled with empathy. The Daishonin says the same thing: those who are in the Bodhisattva state live among the mere mortals of the 6 lower paths, without giving much importance to themselves and respecting others, taking evil for themselves and giving good to others. Buddha state. The Buddha state is the supreme state of life to which the revered Shakyamuni awakened on his own. This supreme state of life is characterized by the threefold direct, definitive, total knowledge of reality, by a total communion with the universe enveloped in total, indestructible happiness. Ultimately, the Buddha is a person who has awakened to the fundamental law governing the universe. The mutual inclusion of the 10 states of life. The 10-state principle founded by the Lotus Sutra implies that each of the 10 states includes or comprises the other 9 states. On this subject Miele, in Congo Bayron, enlightens us: the life of hell and its environment are found in the state of the Buddha. Conversely, the life of a Buddha and his perfect earth are not found elsewhere than in the Ichinen of a mere mortal. The essence of the principle of the mutual inclusion of the 10 states lies in the proof that Buddhahood is inherent in the life of beings in the other 9 states, and that ultimately the beings of the 6 lower paths and those of the 2 vehicles and the Bodhisattva state can attain supreme enlightenment on the one hand, on the other hand, that the possession of the 9 states excluding the state of Buddha is not possible, and finally, conversely, there is no Buddhahood outside the 9 states. After ingesting this educational capsule, it will be possible for you to deepen your knowledge on this theme by referring to my sutras or writings of a Buddha, in Sanskrit, where it is developed at length. These sutras are available, in French, the original version, in American English and in German in paperback and Kindle books on all Amazon sales sites. Regarding the Amazon KDP links to my sutras, please refer to my TikTok or Facebook profiles or even to Lesson 11 of my teachings. All my videos are compiled on my 3 YouTube channels, Kosen Rufu TV, English Kosen Rufu TV and Kosen Rufu Well. For the links to these channels see my bio or type the title of the channel of your choice in the Google search bar.